Hello, hello. Welcome back to ETS C2 Week 1, Round 3. We are joining in Game 2 of this match. We have Komodo versus Virtue. I am Gabe, also known as Calimdir, and I'm joined by Sir Rhino today to commentate this match.
Hello. So yeah, we've got Komodo on Grenadins, Virtue on Four Faction Echo Revenge, not Revenge, but as you said, this is actually going to be game 2 of this match. Of we've been working behind the scenes to try and make the tournament coverage a more smoother experience, but of course we're running into some hiccups, and unfortunately a little communication error got thrown in. Missed the first game, but we're going to be going into game 2, which I believe Komodo is down a game.
Yes.
Is that what happened with the first result? So yeah, still, this is going to be featuring a couple of cards that we didn't mention earlier as we were talking about cards we're excited about because there's simply too many to mention. But Gear Cruncher and Stone Scar Scrapper out of this new Grenadins deck, man, talk about a powerhouse combo.
Yeah, that is just so much card advantage. And those are cards that I really haven't gotten to play with that much, so I'm particularly excited to see them. And here Komodo's got a pretty reasonable opener, I think, with the combustion cell and a quarry to get some stuff. And then he's got his late game with the Gear Cruncher.
Yeah, the Grenadin deck is pretty grindy and has a good late game. I don't think it stands up to the ultimate late game, which is Four Faction Echo Revenge, which is what Virtue's on. Especially because that can also just beat you to death with flyers and recursion. Those all sound like nightmare scenarios for Grenadins. The one thing they do have going for the Komodo has going for him in this matchup is Madness.
Yeah, other than Madness, I think the matchup is pretty favored for Echo Revenge because Grenadins doesn't kill you particularly quickly. And Echo Revenge is full of life gain with Piercing Grief and Stonepad Alchemist. And then, like you said, just you can't beat the late game card advantage that Echo Revenge generates. However, if from Komodo's side, he can get like a very quick Grenadin draw, get down some like assembly lines, Grenadin drones, and a scrap tank, and just beat face. And Virtue doesn't have harsh rules. Or if he can madness away some of those echo threats and really put a damper on Virtue's game plan, he can definitely take a game.
But we see here, Virtue did nothing the first 4 turns. He cost Seek Power and Rise to the challenge, rose for a Pathfinder, and all Komodo has to show for it is 6 damage.
Yeah.
Like, that's just not where you want to be in this matchup. Virtue now played Elysian Pathfinder, so the top unit of their deck gets Echo. So it might hit another Pathfinder. Ideally, for Virtue, it'll hit a unit with Echo. I don't believe we have a hand cam set up for Virtue, so I don't know what's in their hand. Typically, your follow-up here would be a Rise for the unit that got Echo if you have a Rise available. We'll see if that play will be what Virtue does as Scrap Tank comes down, slams in with the Grenadins, grows the Scrap Tank. And yeah, Komodo just does not have a whole lot going on here. We see a Crest of Vengeance come out from Virtue, helps him dig towards whatever has that gained Echo for Pathfinder. We'll go from there. I haven't been playing much Four Faction Echo Revenge since the new set came out, but I know people have been having really good results with it. Revenge overall has gotten really nice buffs. Crest of Vengeance, maybe not helping out Champion of Vengeance that much, just because it's not that strong of a card.
Yep.
But it's certainly helping out decks that are trying to dig towards Revenge. Oddly enough, we see the Rise to the Challenge come out from Virtue after the Scout. So
did we see an Echo card there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he grabbed the Echo card. Not sure what it was. Wouldn't have been able to cast Piercing Grief anyways, but Komodo is in beatdown mode as the combustion cell is activated to get Scrap Tank big. Kind of surprised to just not see the combust itself to get in the big chunk hit, and like no Gear Cruncher comes out either there. I know you're respecting Harsh Rule. That is what's in Four Faction Echo Revenge. You don't want to commit too much to a board, but at the same time, you don't have a whole lot of time before Virtue starts stabilizing here. Now that they found whatever has Echo,
I think it's possible that Komodo just wanted to save Combust for whatever had Echo, but man, this Flamestoker is going to be very good in this matchup.
Yeah, Flamestoker is a card I play in the main deck of my Grenadins decks, but not everybody does. Instead, it's just a sideboard card for Komodo here. Only as a 1-of as well, but it's really nice against a lot of control decks. It obviously laughs at Harsh Rule, things like that. Here we see the Banish come out and just hit a Combustion Cell. I don't think Komodo's too concerned about that. And yeah, now Komodo has real pressure. And
Oh,
yeah, Pathfinder only hit another Pathfinder. Worst case scenario here for Virtue, but that'll come down as a 5-3 and second Gear Cruncher here. Ooh boy, Komodo's going to be bringing a lot of pressure.
doesn't have a ton of Grenadins in the Void yet, though. So not a ton of value off this Gear Cruncher. But the second one's definitely going to get a lot of value. And he's putting a ton of pressure on Virtue right now. Something interesting to note, Virtue's deck, 4 Harsh Rule, 4 Slay, 4 main deck of Banish. Banish, very good card, not at its best in this matchup.
Yeah, a little surprised to even see Banish post sideboard. Like, there's not a lot of units it's going to hit. You're not hitting any of the ones you care about, Scrap Tank, Scrapper, and Gear Cruncher. It's just hitting random Grenadins and Combustion Cell. So it kind of seems like a missed sideboard to me that any number of Banish were left in this deck when you have things like Plague, Devastating Setback, Annihilate, Sabotage. I like all of those cards more in this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. Corrupt, maybe not Corrupt, because you can't redirect Madness, but you can redirect Combust, which is pretty brutal.
Yeah, but I am not in on Corrupt plans. And there we go. Komodo gets this Flamestoker being kind of showing up exactly when you want it. The best time for Flamestoker to show up is turn 4 off Combustion Cell. I can speak from experience.
Oh, man.
Still showing up in time there to really get the pressure Komodo was looking for to end this game before it got out of control.
Oh, it's actually showing up in Stone Scar. Got him, everybody. So yeah, we're gonna get a game 3 here.
So maybe we'll see a little more sideboarding there. Maybe Virtue realizing after that game, like, hey, this Banish, not so good. Maybe I should replace it with a different card here. So he's got 4 Banish main. I mean, there's Plague. Yeah, Devastating Setback I kind of like a lot. Maybe it's just a worse Plague. Like, being able to rip Madness out of your opponent's hand is pretty nice. It can hit assembly lines to go the Sabotage route. I don't know. I think that he's got better options for Banish. I don't know which the best one is, though.
I mean, I think you're definitely cutting all the Banishes out, bringing in probably all 3 Plagues or like 2 Plagues and 2 Sabotage or something like that. Annihilate is actually, yeah, okay. It is a bit rougher, but I think there's more to cut out than just Banish. So I think you're going to find a way to fit Annihilate and Plague in there. Sabotage, I think, is the lowest on the list for me, because Devastating Setback can sabotage his job, and it's useful against Grenadins. And the only card the Scrap Tank, the Gear Cruncher deck is mostly unit. No, it's actually mostly spells. Okay.
Yeah, well, the only units are like Scrap Tank, Scrapper, and Gear Cruncher. There's Grenadin Drone and Spark Hatcher. It's a lot of spells,
but a lot of the spells you want, or the spells you want to hit, are few and far between. You really only care about maybe Combust and Madness, and Combust you don't care about that much, right? Because you're not playing Sandstorm Titan on 4 and trying to get in damage with it. You're not playing Mystic Ascendant on 6 or on 7 or anything like that. You're just kind of getting value, killing your own units even. That, like, them removing your units isn't really a big issue. Them stealing them with Madness is a big issue. So I feel like there aren't as many great hits for Sabotage in this matchup as there would be against a more typical deck.
The other interesting option is Vera's Choice. Virtue already has 2 of those main deck, and when that hits, like, it really hits. Like, hitting Gear Cruncher with that or taking a Scrapper out of their hand, that's real nice. The problem is what we were just talking about. They don't have a super high density of like great Vera's Choice hits, but the ones that are really good hits are like insanely good hits. So that's kind of a risky balance of, do you want to go for the high payoff play that its downside is pretty bad?
Yeah, so I think my first 2 bring-ins would probably be Annihilate, Devastating Setback after thinking about all of it. But yeah, we have the game going on now.
And Komodo shipping off a 5 power hand that had Scrapper and Gear Cruncher. You're looking for more to do in the early game, not have your late game grind out cards as the only action in hand. So ships that off, gets a double Scrap Tank, double Combust hand. Still not really what you're looking for, but I guess there's not a whole lot of cards you're looking for in this matchup anyways.
Yeah, I was going to say, from Komodo's side, the sideboarding is a little bit tougher. He has a lot of stuff that's great against decks with a lot of removal, or the only card that really stands out to me is like Oblivion Spike. If Virtue's playing like a control deck that doesn't play a lot of traditionally good blockers and things like that, so Oblivion Spike seems like it'd be very good. However, they are playing a lot of just dirtly creatures and things that they don't care if they die, so it makes it really difficult to get in with Oblivion Spike. So it's just kind of rough on Komodo's side all around.
Yeah, Grenadins aren't exactly a robust archetype. Like they are very good at what they do, and they have some real weaknesses. They can outgrind control. They can match up really well against especially like time-based mid-range decks.
Yes.
But you can and they can gum up the ground against a lot of different styles of aggro decks. But man, flyers are a huge weakness for them. And this kind of like not control deck, but like combo deck that they just don't interact well against, that can also be a real problem for Grenadins.
Yeah, and Grenadins don't kill quickly. Gear Cruncher does not hit face with its ability. I'm glad it doesn't.
Yeah.
So.
Ooh.
Oh, double madness on Mokdo is not bad for Komodo.
Yeah, if Virtue plays any other unit, Komodo will get to madness this Mokdo and combust that unit. And there we see it. Virtue plays out Stone Powder Alchemist, and Komodo will be able to just madness the Mokdo, snap it off here. Doesn't even hesitate. It's like, you made this, I made this.
Man. How many turns do you think it's going to be before Komodo gets that 7/5 Mokdo for free?
He has a Stone Scar Scrapper, so I'm going to go with 3.
That's a... yeah, I was going to say
right.
1.
Of course.
Of course.
I forgot.
Yeah. Don't you know when it's your opponent's Mokdo, it puts it to the top of the deck?
That
always.
Makes sense. Yeah, it's for max Rubbins.
Yeah.
It did not account for that factor from Direwolf Digital.
And a second Madness Combust in Komodo's hand. This is going very well for Komodo this game.
Yeah, we were talking about how Madness is Komodo's best card in this matchup. Like, the Grenadin part of it doesn't really matter. Like, yeah, they chip in for damage, but it's more you have Madness and Combust and Devour and stuff, so you can take your opponent's revenge units and beat them to death with it, because they'll come back eventually and shut down what they're trying to do. Like, Virtue used a Rise to the Challenge
to get that.
Get that. It's like, holy cow. And now Virtue needs another flyer to block this Mokdo.
Hey, at least it didn't have Echo, right? Come on.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, that would have been gross, but... So now Komodo's got some choices here. Could go, Scrapper and just start drawing some more. It seems to be the weapon of choice.
I think that's the safer play. Definitely you can steal the Stone Powder Alchemist and just completely cut him off of revenge cards. But...
So Komodo just played a Crest of Chaos to end their turn. And they saw another Madness.
With a Stone Scar Scrapper on the board, pretty good.
Also, the fact that you have a Madness in hand means you could have set up double Madness lethal, depending on what Virtue did. But Virtue instead swung, gained some life, cast Harsh Rule, and Komodo can play Gear Cruncher that makes 3 Grenadins. I think we'll probably just see another Scrap Tank to prime the pumps here.
Yep. And we'll see the Mokdo come off of Komodo's deck pretty soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, Elysian Pathfinder comes down. There is a lurking Stone Powder Alchemist near the top of Virtue's deck, so maybe Elysian Pathfinder hit that. Best case scenario for Virtue.
Did he draw the most recent Echo unit?
Oh, from the other Elysian Pathfinder? No, but there is a chance that that Stone Powder Alchemist got put on top of whatever that other unit was.
Yeah, that's the chance. Does Elysian Pathfinder just always hit what's on top, or does it skip to the first available non-Echo target?
Yeah, that's what it does. It looks for something that doesn't have Echo and then gives it Echo. Okay. And there it is. Stone Powder Alchemist did get put on top of that other target, pretty close to the top of the deck. And this is how Virtue could get back into this game.
Yeah, definitely. Gear Cruncher is going to be able to take care of them one at a time, but it's a bit slow. These Madnesses are going to have to come and do a lot of work.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
There's the plague, clears out this board. Now, those Grenadins are still Grenadins in the void, and Scrap Tank's an 1818. So,
Casual.
yeah, it's not lethal, though, as another Alchemist comes down. Now, madnessing these Alchemists that came back with Destiny isn't quite as good. They're not going to get shuffled back into your deck. You don't have Dark Return to get them. So instead, yeah, we see Madness come out on the other Alchemist. Opts to swing in with it, but that'll let Virtue put one of his Destiny Echo Alchemists in the void, which if he has, if Virtue has any Dark Returns, would allow him to keep drawing more and more cards, but does not block. So now he's going to force Komodo to sacrifice this Alchemist, or Virtue will get it back.
So this is the part where I think Grenadin struggles, is Grenadin does not do a lot of damage, and the damage that it does do is like with one guy on the ground.
Yeah.
And Virtue's deck, the Echo Revenge deck, can handle that pretty well.
Yeah.
So it's really going to struggle to close out against this deck. And like we talked about, Madness is a great tool, but it can't really go anywhere near as late as the Echo Revenge deck. It just generates so much value. Any Dark Return off the top is going to be a ton of advantage. This next Stone Powder Alchemist now.
Yeah. This is not looking good for Komodo now. And I think, you're saying how Grenadins have these issues with getting through these grindy board stalls. Like, they're good at board stalling, but they're also kind of bad at breaking board stalls, except with Gear Cruncher.
Yeah.
And I think that's something you have to address with your sideboard. Like, we see Komodo's sideboard here. It's Dark Return, Sabotage, Annihilate, Oblivion Spike, an extra Combustion Cell. Like, okay, Flamestoker kind of helps. Obrak's kind of cool because it's a big flyer. I would have liked to see something more like Granite Ring, where you can give your random big scrap tank like this Overwhelm, or if you have a board of like 1/1 Grenadins, maybe they get a little bit bigger. Like those kind of tools that you don't always want to have in your main deck on ladder, but you can afford to have in the ETS in a best of 3 format.
Yeah, I don't know. Granite Ring is kind of a tough card to sell me on, but it definitely could be very good. It hasn't been great in this game, right? There was no point where it was ideal. I think really Komodo just wanted to find time to play a Gear Cruncher earlier. I think there might have been a turn where he played like something else instead, and it kind of choked him on mana because he wasn't able to ever activate Gear Cruncher.
And we're talking like Komodo's lost this, but he has not. If Virtue has not found a Dark Return yet, I mean, this is not anywhere close to over then. This Scrap Tank's a 24. Like, what does Virtue have? There it is, a harsh rule.
I mean, that's fine though, right? That's what you have the second Gear Cruncher for.
Oh,
it's not ideal, but it's doable.
It's better than being dead, but there's another rise. Although I think we've seen most of the Echo, all the Stone Powder Alchemists.
Yeah, we saw 2 Echo Stone Powder Alchemists. So unless there's an Echo that I haven't been paying attention to, that should be the last Echo.
Yeah, I think Virtue's just getting a plain old Mocto there, which Komodo will have Madness Combustion Cell for. And here we go. If the first Gear Cruncher doesn't get you, the second one usually can, as it fills up the board again with the 11 Grenadins. And Virtue, there was another Echo thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see something like Plague or Devastating Setback come out. And there's Plague. Because here's the thing. Virtue's deck has an obscene amount of answers to Grenadins. He was just so prepared for Grenadins this weekend.
Yeah, and there we go. The other Echo card was Find the Way. We're not crazy. We didn't miscount. Quarry for Komodo means you might finally find this Mocto, and there it is. Has to give up a Stone Scar Scrapper for it, but you got to do what you got to do. Get that flying threat down.
And getting the extra couple Grenadins there, pretty big. Lets him take out that Elysian Pathfinder.
Yep, this Gear Cruncher does 3 damage. It has 3 Grenadins in play. And another Echo thing drawn for Virtue. Might just be another Find the Way. We'll find out shortly here if he casts another one. And hey, the Destiny Alchemist is here for Komodo. So slowly keeping up in the value train for now.
You gonna commit this? Well, It's weird to play the one Greninja from the Waystone and then not the Greninja drone, I feel like.
All right, Echo, Piercing, Grief. Virtue, just all Virtue wants to see is Dark Return at this point in the game. Like, that's all he wants to draw. If he finds a Dark Return, he will then get back these Alchemists and put this game out of reach.
This is definitely very doable for Komodo now. Virtue has so many good top decks, but if he just bricks for, 2-3 turns, okay, well, there's Piercing.
They come back right away. Komodo decided to hold back even the Gear Cruncher here to have some blockers, but now Virtue draws 2 extra cards off these Piercing Griefs because they both come in with Destiny, and he's just digging towards those other Echo cards, and all these cards are gaining him life. It's just, 7 damage a turn, it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, I think he needed to commit a little more damage to that first attack there, because you're just never blocking with Gear Cruncher. But man, is Virtue just drawing so much life gain.
Yep. Speaking of life gain, though, Stone Scar Scrapper means Komodo can kind of keep up here, at least in the meantime. Again, I think once Virtue does find that Dark Return, it's going to be curtains. But
well, he can steal one of these. Yeah, Stonefire Alchemist, kill it with Scrapper, and then the next turn kill the other one with Gear Cruncher.
He can, yeah, because I don't know if you can use Combustion Cell to do all 3 things at once. You might be able to. Let's see. If you activate Gear Cruncher, then sell a Greninja.
Oh yeah,
that puts you back to 9. So that gives you enough to Scrapper and Madness. So I think we're going to see everything done this turn.
I forgot about Combustion Cell. I play Greninjas, I swear.
Now, there's an argument of whether or not you actually wanted to kill their one Alchemist. Like, you're only swinging with your Mocto anyways, so putting that Alchemist into their... Oh, okay, he's not even electing to use Madness on this Alchemist here.
I think this is fine, because they do have Echo, and you don't really want more Echo Revenge on top of their deck. That's how they win.
But... well, you would have taken that one and put it into your deck, but the Devour would have blown you out. Oh, man.
That's going to be Piercing Grief.
But that's still going to draw Virtue even 2 more cards, dig him towards that Alchemist that Komodo just killed with Gear Cruncher. But okay, didn't draw it yet.
And it's also one of the few threats that won't be able to be Madness.
Another late night.
Uh-oh. It's getting real late over here.
Takes Komodo down to 6. A Dark Return would take him down to 2, and then he would just need a removal spell, like Slay. Vera's Choice. All right, Vera's Choice is also lethal. Yep. So Greninja did a good job trying to keep up in the grind, but I mean, eventually the Echo Destiny is just too much to overcome all that life gain and everything else.
Yep, ultimately, the gears grind to a halt, and Greninjas all fall apart in the face of Echo Revenge.
Yep, but still, good fight there by the Greninjas, and of course, a strong showing from Echo Revenge, doing what it does, which is gain life, draw cards, gain life, draw cards, slowly ping you to death, showing off what that deck can do. It's a tough deck to really interrupt, other than just killing it before it gets going.
Apparently we are changing the overlay colors for next round, so look forward to that. We're gonna have I don't believe we have any backup matchups because we started a little late. But man, I'm glad we got to see Gear Cruncher on camera. Take out a couple good units there.
Yeah, he crunched some gears, just not quite enough. So with that, I guess we'll do a quick plug as to what exactly the ETS is, huh?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right. So the ETS is the Eternal Torment series. That's what's happening right now. This is our first week of the first season of 2018. We had a whole series of seasons and events last year, culminating in the World Championships that occurred back in November and all that, but we're getting things started again here with the Dusk Road and everything else. So what'll happen is each week like this is open to everybody. Every Saturday, noon Eastern is when it starts. We just have an ETS open. Anybody is free to participate in. We play Swiss, cut the top 8, and based on how you do in those over the next 2 months leading up to an invitational, you can qualify for that invitational. That's where you start talking about cash prizes and things like that. And then there's also mid-year and annual championships, which have even greater cash prizes. So it's all free to play in, a whole lot of fun, a way to practice, a different style of Eternal with the best of 3 format. And I think it's a whole lot of fun. I've played it myself, but it's also pretty fun to check out all the action here from the booth or at home if you're watching on Twitch as well. So for more information, check out aReNGeeEternal.com for all of that Eternal Tournament Series information. I really recommend playing in it and checking out, but hey, watching it's a whole lot of fun too.
Yeah, I know I've had a lot of fun participating in the ETS and playing bad decks and doing poorly. It's been a great time. You too can do the same for free.
Oh yeah. Yeah, bring those Idol of Destrin and show off how good you really are. And with that, we're going to get ready for more Eternal Tournament Series action in round 4 coming up next.